wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
106-103. Inside 2 minutes. Steve Kerr gets a play call in. Curry off a screen by Schroeder. Takes a deep three. Good! Doubles the Warrior advantage just like that. Curry's got 21.
Oh, the great Tim Roy on the call there as your Golden State Warriors, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get a massive dub for Dub Nation. 116-109 the final against the best team in the West. The best in the West goes down for the second time to the hands of the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, that's right. Warriors ain't scared of the top dog. So on the back end of a back-to-back, not sure if Steph's going to play. He plays. Big shot there in a big win for a team that desperately needed one. 888-957-9570. That's the number. I want to hear from you today. What did that win mean to you, Dub Nation, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? And I say a good morning to you on this Thursday here, this brisk Thursday, as we are anticipating a lot of rain this upcoming weekend. That's thumbs down for me, because if you have 2 kids, lots of rain means, we're going to be stuck inside, and they're going to be bouncing off the walls. So I got to find some activities to do to keep them entertained. Maybe I should just have them watch the Golden State Warriors against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'll say, you got Disney Plus. Just put that on. You're good.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, you'll learn the screen time. You got to limit it, all right? Because then they're going to be bouncing off the walls even more.
These are desperate times.
Yeah, well, they are. But they got screens in front of their faces all the time now. It's unfortunate. But, I'm not one to judge on that, by the way, because I've had a Game Boy in front of my face, I feel like, since I was like 6. Basically the same thing. Right? Game Boy Color. Remember, you had to have like the old school ones, though. You had to have the light bulb, little attachment. If you're like on an airplane or you're like traveling in a car late at night, that was the worst. And then like reflected off the screen. It wasn't even like that helpful. Anyways, we're already deep into it, 2 minutes into the show. But you know the number, 888-957-9570. Call or text that number. Also, we are streaming. You can see this beautiful face here. Yes, the nose is real. It's spectacular. Streaming on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Go ahead and like and subscribe on any of those platforms. We greatly appreciate it. Also, there's another way. Not 1, not 2, but 3 different ways to participate or listen. Download the Odyssey app. It's free. Easy to get. Go to your app store, Odyssey, boom, there it is. You're good to go. And not just 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations as well. And you can stream all Warriors games right there from your Odyssey app. Simple as that. So 116-109 the final. Warriors improved to 24-23. Now, 1 win doesn't equal 20, right? If that was the case, they'd vault up to the top of the standings. But as it stands today, they're still the 11th seed in the Western Conference, tied with the Sacramento Kings. And who knows what the Kings are going to look like in the coming weeks, because they may be trading De'Aaron Fox. That's the big sexy name right now. It was Jimmy Butler for a long time, but now De'Aaron Fox is vaulted up there. Why? Because De'Aaron Fox is younger. That's why. He's an actual piece you may be able to build around. Is he a number 1? No. Could he be a number 2? Possibly. I was very impressed with his first-round series against the Warriors a couple years ago. But since then, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Whether it's him, whether it's Sabonis. Sabonis has been their best player this season by far. Or, Malik Monk, who's been kind of that 6th-man fringe starter guy. So we're going to be on the lookout for big moves in the next week. Are the Warriors going to be a part of those big moves around the league? Jimmy Butler. Are we still wanting Jimmy Butler? I guess that was the big topic of conversation the last couple of days. I was out yesterday. I'm back today. But, you get Shams, you get Windhorst, you get all these guys saying the asking price from the Miami Heat have gone down. Well, is that the kind of win that tells you, hey, you know what? Maybe we can, do something with this squad still? Or are you saying, hey, pump the brakes. Let's see what we got. Let's just, maybe if there's a fringe move there along the lines, nothing too sexy. Do we do that? Let me know. 888-957-9570. Because This team told me something last night. It is just one win, but one win can tell you something about a team and its fight. And this team still has fight left in it. You know that song, This Is My Fight song? Yeah? Take Back My Life song? Yeah, it's the Warriors yesterday. Yeah, you can cringe at that all you want. It's true. This team has got some fight left in it. And I don't know what that means for the playoffs. I don't know what it means for the play-ins, if they're going to make it. But I know they're going to go down swinging. This team, it felt like at times this past month, was a game away from just rolling over completely. They've been hovering around mediocrity for so long, it feels like, oh God, just put us out of our misery as fans, right? We've won 2 in a row against the worst team in the conference and the best team in the conference. So what does that tell you? It tells me on any given night, they can struggle against, the worst teams in the league at times. But also, they have shown that they could beat the best teams. They have beaten the Celtics, albeit without Jaylen Brown, without Kristaps Porzingis, but they have beaten the Celtics, and they've beaten the Thunder now twice. What did that win mean for you last night? Did it do anything for you last night, Warriors fans? From the text line, 925, Santos played fantastic last night, was a bit all over the place. Yeah, Guy Santos, man. Listen, the stats aren't going to show it scoring the ball, but him getting 7 rebounds, a couple of assists, just being active. And he has been a boost for this team. I know, again, they've been hovering around 500 for so long, so it's hard to say, true impact of a player, but he's been a bench player. And in Draymond Green's absence, and again, big one without Draymond Green last night, and a Jonathan Kuminga, I can't highlight that enough. No Kuminga, no Draymond, no problem last night. And Andrew Wiggins, we've been asking it on the show all season long. I need the scoring night in and night out from this guy because I know he can do it. 27 points last night, 10 of 17. Guy was looking like Steph from beyond the arc. 5 of 8, got to the free throw line a couple times. And Steph, 5 of 10, 21 points for him. And it looked like he was laboring a little bit in that first quarter. Again, you can't squander games when you get an additional score like a Wiggins on top of what Steph's already doing. He's going to give you 20 more often than not. You need someone else to get in the 20s. And Andrew Wiggins was that guy last night. Kevon Looney, Loon Dog, off the bench, vintage Loon Dog. That was a veteran performance from the Golden State Warriors. And it was refreshing to watch. I was actually happy watching Golden State Warriors basketball last night. When's the last time you could say that? When's the last time you could say I was happy watching a Golden State Warriors game? And don't give me against the Utah Jazz the night prior. I don't. Was anyone happy watching that game? I'm not happy watching the Utah Jazz. I'm sorry. Plus, there's no Steph. And no Lauri Markkanen. Oh, no. Lauri. Are they really load managing Lauri Markkanen? How old is he? Like 27? God, what are we doing? Gary Payton? Refreshing to see. Didn't even attempt a 3-point shot yesterday. Didn't even attempt one. I don't need him to take those. Got 15 points for me in the starting role. Buddy Hield? The shot's not there. He had 4 assists yesterday. That'd be the only thing coming out of that game where I'm like, geez. But I'm trying to, again, I feel good about the win. I'm not harping on all the negatives after that fact, but that's a tough watch right now. Buddy Hield, you got to wonder if that's a guy that they could trade at the deadline. Maybe he just needs a fresh start somewhere else. Do they, keep him? We'll see. From the text line, 888-957-9570, GPT with the poster jam of the season. And now, let me see if I can find that because it was the jam, or should I say the yam, shout out Mike, NFL Network, the yam of the year. You can go for some yams right now, actually. Some candy dance, some brown sugar, some marshmallows on there, some diabetes. There you go. I'm trying to do it. It's hard when I have this little, there we go. I'm trying to do it all from my little touch screen. I'm taking you behind the scenes here. I have a little touch screen that I have that has access to all of my sound. And I have to be very careful No, it's not. And I got like fat fingers too, so I hit 35 instead of 25. All right. GP2. First and foremost, let's hear from Stephen Curry on the dunk, because he said, just what you're alluding to, 925 on the text line, how special it was and how much it gave Chase Center in the team life.
He was definitely excited because he said he hadn't had one in a while. And it doesn't matter at what point of the game it happens, it's always a big boost. Energy-wise, like demeanor for the whole team, has something to celebrate, and for him to show his athleticism. So.
And the Warriors lead 114 to 105.
Just an exclamation point of a dunk on the game, and it felt like all of Dub Nation's frustration all in one dunk, and God, it felt good, right? God, it felt good. And by the way, I haven't even mentioned this. We're 12 minutes into the show. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, are you kidding me? 52 points. How many did you have in the first quarter? He outscored Warriors in the first quarter. No, 21? Something like that. Just insane from Shai. Shai was not shy last night. I'll tell you that. People like to call him shy for some reason. No, he was not shy. He was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night. But you know what? It wasn't 52 points wasn't enough. And the Gary Payton dunk was special. It was fun. Again, I keep going back to that word. And you heard it from Tim Roy in the call right there. Right here on 95.7 The Game. We haven't heard much of those Warriors chants. It's kind of crazy. I was at the game last Saturday against the Lakers. It was like quiet. Because they haven't had a chance to play from, with a lead. They haven't had like, you do the Warriors chants when you feel comfortable. When you feel good about the team. Because that's how this team was for the last decade. With Steph, Clay, Dre, Iguodala, who's going to get his jersey retired in the coming months. That's going to be awesome. Number 9, KD. Used to hear those chants constantly at Oracle. And then, yes, in the championship run at Chase. It's been that sort of season. So, what does that win do for this team going forward? Well, this is schedule remaining up until the All-Star break. All right? Suns tomorrow at Chase Center. Then you got Magic on Monday. Monday Magic. Then you got the Jazz. Then you got the Lakers. That's the back end of a back-to-back. That's going to be a tough one in La La Land, but potentially no Anthony Davis, who absolutely eviscerated the team last time. And who knows, maybe we'll have Draymond Green back by then. Then you get the Bulls. Then you get the Bucks. And you get Mavericks, Rockets, break. So we still got 2, 4, 6, 8 games left until the deadline. 8 games. You're game over 500. I want something to be shown here from this squad. Can they go 6-2? Can they go 5-3? Can they play over 500 basketball in this final stretch, which is not going to be easy? Again, the only gimme I would say, and again, this team has shown that they don't deserve gimmies. The Jazz are not a great team. But the Suns, the Magic, the Lakers, the Bulls, the Bucks, and we'll see with the Bulls, right? They might trade off all their pieces. Mavericks and the Rockets. You're going to have great tests within your own conference and then some of the best in the East as well coming up here. But you just took out the best in the West. Behind a 50 burger from potentially the league MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A 50 burger. Let's go back to that dunk, though. Gary Payton. This is on the radio walk-off with our very own Tim Roy and Tom Tolbert.
You caught another big fella tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, it's been a while. Unfortunately, it had to be my guy Zay, but he was just in the way. But it's been a while. It felt good up there. I forgot how it felt up there.
Did you tell him it's nothing personal, just business?
No, absolutely. He knows it's just business.
Just business.
Going full Godfather, nothing personal, just business. Love it. Love it. Again, you can hear the smiles with all the players last night. You can hear it. You can hear me smiling right now. I got a big one. Just getting back to the joy, because I feel like the teams this past year in the Bay Area have just zapped all the joy from a lot of the fans right now. There's been so much doom and gloom. It's hard. It's hard to talk about sometimes too. I mean, we come in here to talk. We try to have fun. We do this for a living. We try to have fun with it. We're not trying to sugar. The Niners, we'll see. They're going to pay Brock Purdy, and they're going to restructure Fred Warner's contract, it looks like. What are they going to do in the draft? We'll see. It's a nightmare for them in this perspective because they have to watch the two teams they hate the most, the Chiefs and the Eagles, battle it out for another championship. The Sharks, okay. Actually, the Sharks probably have the best vibes going on right now because they're in just a win-win situation. If they lose, they're still winning. If they win, it's great development. So there you go. And then you got this Warriors team where they got this crossroads, shout out Bone Thugs and Harmony, that they're at, whether they're going to make this big trade or not, or they're going to stand pat and what's going to be there in the summertime. And Anthony Slater, our 95.7 The Game Warriors insider, joined Bonta and Chasky yesterday, as he does each and every week, joining the morning roast, courtesy of the River Islands guest line. He thinks they make a move.
I think something gets done, and I think it's even possible they throw a first in there. This year's first, I think, is possible to be used, protected. Just because I think there's a desire from the front office to shake it up a little bit, to see something different. Maybe try a different rotation piece, reposition a salary, just to maybe make a little bit of a better mini run this year, while also protecting the assets that would allow them to go bigger game hunting this summer. And I do think there's going to be those type of middle tier players on the board, especially if you throw a protected first rounder into the mix, you can get into a lot more conversations.
Slater seems to think they make a move. What's the move that needs to be made for this team? If they kind of suckered you in back last night, if they kind of, you were reeling, you're that fish at the end of the hook, you were flopping around. I was like, I'm almost done. No. We're reeling you back in, baby. What's the move that's really going to set it off for you to say, you know what, I'm back. Or if you never left, that's fine. Do you think they don't need to make a move? 888-957-9570. Plus, what did that win mean for you last night going forward with this team? Was it just a win? Was it more than that? I mean, it just felt good to have some joy. Finally. Steph Curry, how important was that win to you?
I mean, it was important, obviously, for two reasons. The competition you're playing, the team that's at the top of the conference, and just for us to be able to put two games together in a row. We need positive vibes around here, and we need wins, and it was a lot of contributions across the floor. It's funny because, we're still in that kind of position where every night you don't know who the combination that's going to work, but as long as everybody's committed to it, playing with high energy, doing, starring in your role, you hope that you get rewarded for that, and it was definitely a night like that tonight.
They got rewarded. Again, the guys that showed up, Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton, Kevon Looney, Brandon Pajemski, looking like his rookie year a little bit, right? Pods? It's nice to see confidence with the young player who had anything but for most of the season. Since come back from the injury, I liked what I've seen from Pods. Quentin Post, got the start, 8 minutes. See you later. Quentin. Listen, I like the experiment. It didn't work out yesterday, but I kind of like that they're going to a second round rookie G League player starting against the best team in the league potentially. Said, yeah, we'll see. I didn't hate it. It didn't work out. It's fine. But I thought Schroeder played well off the bench. Efficient. The shot's not there from the 3-point line right now. It's just not. But the Thunder shot it worse from yesterday. 9 of 39, 3-point shooting team. That's kind of where the Warriors have won, right? the opposition, when they've won these big games against big franchises and some of the best in the biz, whether it's the Celtics or the Thunder, the other team to make their threes. And you have to make teams pay for that. If they're not making their threes, and you're also not a great three-point shooting team, albeit you take a lot of them, you got to make them pay. And yesterday it was Andrew Wiggins and Stephen Curry combining for 10 three-point shots made. And finally, right? Finally. Here's the head coach on the second half intensity, and he's kind of alluding to what I said. It was a kind of a veteran type of game.
All in all, I just thought our second half intensity, the way everybody scrapped out there, every single guy who came on the floor just scrapped and gave us great minutes. And I could go up and down the roster, but, it was kind of a vet game. Loon, Gary, Kyle, Wiggs, all these guys just came through. Dennis was amazing, second half, especially defensively. And so our guys came up big against, best team in the league. So great win.
How much did this team need that win, Steve?
I think this group, we know they're capable. What we saw early in the year was not a mirage. You don't just fall into that. But watching the tape of the OKC game that we played on the road early in the season when we were rolling, you could just see a bounce in our step. There was a look in our eye, and I didn't see that tonight early in the game. We've struggled to play with that bounce and that confidence here the last month or so. So it's great to see us fight through that and then kind of reach that state in the second half where you could see the belief, you could see the energy, and felt like we captured that again. And now we got to sustain it, obviously.
And that's the big question, right? I think if you're skeptical, last night was a great win. You're enjoying it for what it is, but can they stack wins? I mean, they got 2 in a row now, and when was the last time they've swept the back-to-back? When's the last time they've done that? That's what I want to know. Have they done that all season long? 888-957-9570. If you could let me know, text line. This is the last time they won back-to-back. But stacking wins is something this team has just had a trouble doing. They just haven't. That's why they're mediocre. You're mediocre because you're average and you're stuck in the middle and you don't win a lot. You don't lose a lot. You're just sort of mid. That's the word that Steph Curry came back to. His team's been mid. Can they break out of that? Will this win do that for them? We shall see. I'm trying to look in the schedule and the last time they swept the back-to-back. I'm looking at it right now. I don't see it in December. No. Not there. Not there. I'm going. I'm looking, people. November. There we go. October 29th and October 30th when they beat the Pelicans back-to-back. Remember those? The little back-to-backs at Chase Center playing the Pelicans? Come on, Pelican. That was it. That was the second week of the season. We had to go all the way back to the second week of the season for them to have swept a back-to-back. So, hey, maybe it's a sign of things to come because back then, the first couple weeks of the season, team was red hot. They were 12-3. They were looking good. And now we know that Pelicans win doesn't really mean a whole hell of a lot because the Pelicans have 12 wins this year, and they are doo-doo sauce. Yeah, I said it. They're doo-doo sauce. Stephen Curry. On how difficult it's been for Dennis Schroeder, a guy that had a good game last night, but those good games have been few and far between with Dennis and his adjusting to the Golden State Warriors. Your Steph on that.
Mostly just it's a different system, and he's been around the block, but I think he was playing at such a high level, and they had such a unique team in Brooklyn. A lot of space, a lot of athleticism at the wing. They're playing small at times, and he had a lot of room to drive, play make. He was shooting the ball at a high level, and then you put him in, with our system where it's a lot of more ball movement, and it takes a while to get used to that. And the bigs that we're playing, trying to develop that chemistry and screen and roll game and all that type of stuff. But everybody focuses on the offensive side, which we want to continue to play better, but you got to focus on the positives too. His defense has been great for us on that end of the floor, picking up, full, guarding. some of the main scorers on the other side. He's relentless on that end of the floor. So if we can put 2 and 2 together, like I said, I think there's another level to get to, but we have to keep working at it.
888-957-9570. What did that mean win for the Golden State Warriors last night? What did it mean to you as a fan? Do they make a big move? Should they make a big move? All of that coming up next on the other side. More of your calls, more of your texts as the Warriors get a much-needed win last night at Chase Center, 116-109. We finally heard Warriors chants for the first time, and it feels like forever. Shout out Frozen for the first time in forever. And we'll pick it all up on the other side as the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, rolls on 95.7 The Game.
Jewelry Graham, it's your friends at Shane Company here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Friday, February 14th. It's the most romantic day of the year to give and get fine jewelry. We have expertly crafted gifts for every type of sweetheart. For the one, we'll help you propose with the dream engagement ring. Come see our wide selection of hand-picked natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. In stock and ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Or maybe you'll fall in love with the natural colorful gemstone. At Shane Company, we're known for our sapphires in every color of the rainbow. We have options for every style and budget. Get creative and design a custom necklace with meaningful charms, including 14-karat gold letters, engravable hearts, and birthstones. Our mother-of-pearl heart-shaped collection makes a perfect gift that's ready to give. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our unmatched free lifetime warranty, everyday competitive prices, and no-pressure shopping experience. Come see us in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-469-1635. 800-469-1635. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-469-1635.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision. Buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. When you apply to University of Maryland Global Campus by February 12th, you'll pay no application fee. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience. Or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
play the right way and lock in. Hopefully this is a momentum swing for us and, just keep piling on.
Andrew Wiggins last night as the Golden State Warriors win 116-109. Andrew Wiggins leading the way. 10 of 17 from the floor. 5 of 8 from the three-point line. Couple of assists, couple boards. 27 points in all, though, for Andrew, as him and Steph combined for 48. Still doesn't touch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's 52-burger. But they just couldn't hit the three last night. Other than Isaiah Joe off the bench. And you know what I say? And what Bob Spadoni always told me. Guys with 2 first names, don't really trust them. Isaiah Joe's one of them. But last night, he was a trusted agent when it came to that three-point shot. 17 points for him. But again, I will gladly take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropping 52. You don't say that often. Go ahead and do you. And Jalen Williams, sure, have your 26. No one else did anything. Really. Look at the other Jalen Williams, Jalen with a Y. Isaiah Hartenstein, all he did was just get absolutely eviscerated on the block. He did have 18 boards, though. It's kind of ridiculous. Just goes to the size problem. But Kevon Looney, conversely, off the bench in 25 minutes, Loon Dog with 18 points. He didn't really control the boards, but that's all right. He was scoring. And Looney getting to the line. Looney to the line. I like that. 8 of 9. And they won the free throw battle. So you win the 3-point battle. You win the free throw battle. You're going to win the game more often than not in today's NBA. It's very rare that if you win both those categories, you're going to lose. And no, I did not do the research on that, but I'm sure you can go ahead and Google it. Yeah, and I'm getting this from the text line. Sam mentioned it, and it's true. No Chet Holmgren last night, and no Chet Holmgren for basically the other time you beat him, who left that game and got injured. So no Chet for these ones. And you could say the other win against the Celtics, no Jaylen Brown, no, Kristaps Porzingis, but okay, no Draymond, no Kuminga. That means something? Like, listen, Draymond and Kuminga, are they at the level of a Chet Holmgren and what he means to the Oklahoma City Thunder? I think you could argue, yeah, Draymond and Kuminga mean a whole hell of a lot more to this Golden State Warriors team this season than Chet Holmgren has for the Thunder this season. Chet's been out for most of this year, and they're 37-9. I just have to go with that. It's been out. Now, come playoff time, that's another question. Because come playoff time, they're going to need the likes of a Chet Holmgren, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And right now, they are still the clear-cut best team in the West. But as we know, in a given series, it's all matchup dependent. And, maybe the Thunder don't match up well against a certain squad. Maybe they match up well against, the Nuggets, but not, the T-Wolves, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm very curious to see what this team looks like when Chet does indeed come back. And let's actually check on the status of Chet real quick. Chet Holmgren's return will be the biggest midseason acquisition. I always hate that. I know that's what we do. It's like, if you look at it like this, if you get Kuminga back, that's really going to be your midseason acquisition. No, that's not how this works. He's already on the team. I get what you're trying to do there when we have these kinds, like we do it in football sometimes. Debo was out for most of the season, but we're getting him back. It's basically a free agent move because you haven't had him all season long. It's like, no, that's not the same. It's really not. By definition, it's not. You're just getting back a player that was already injured. Steve Kerr talking about the man of the evening, Gary Payton II, with that dunk, asked if that was the ideal GP2 game. And GP2 in the starting lineup.
Yeah, That's why Gary is so crucial to our team and to our success. I say it all the time, but the 22 finals shifted as soon as Gary got healthy after game one. We won 4 out of 5 games, and a huge part of that was his defense, his energy, his playmaking, screening. He's such a unique player. There's nobody like him in the league. He's basically a 6'2" power forward with jets in his feet, and great feel too, like a really interesting feel. Not so much as a guard, but as a rolling big. He creates an advantage for us defensively, but also a different look offensively with his diving and finishing. So Gary's huge for us, and when he plays like that, we're tough to beat.
Indeed, Steve Kerr. From the text line, and by the way, we are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. And don't miss your shot today. Another opportunity, 3 different opportunities to qualify for your place in the 95-7 The Game knockout tournament. Be listening all day long to each and every show. They're going to give you a keyword in each show, unique word for each show. You got to be listening. And then they're going to give you the contest line and tell you when to call in and try to qualify to play knockout at Chase Center. Yeah, you can play where the Warriors are playing. You can play where Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander all played last night. That could be you. Are you going to drop 52 points on everyone? I doubt it, because I'm not allowing that in this house. We'll hard foul your ass. That's a fact. I will do that. All right? I'm not mad. All right? Nothing easy. 559. You guys are delusional thinking this team is going to do this against the big dogs. Small ball ain't going to do it against other teams. We're going to get pounced. Toronto beat the Celtics one night. This was just a one-night stand. Okay, 559. I don't think anyone thinks this team's winning a championship. If you do, I'd love to hear from you. We're talking about just having fun with a win. And I don't think anyone's saying if these two teams played in a given series right now, that the Warriors are winning that series. They would be massive underdogs if that was the case. But we can also be realistic and say, you know what? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the league MVP, dropped 50 last night and he still won. He shot 21 times from the free throw line and he still won. You didn't have your best defensive player. You didn't have your second best scorer last night in Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond Green. You didn't have either of those guys. It was a good win. And yeah, the Raptors beat the Celtics. Okay. Yeah, the Toronto Raptors are one of the worst teams in the NBA. Warriors right now are 24-23. I wouldn't say they're the worst team in the NBA. Are they an average team? Are they a slightly above average team? That remains to be seen. They're 14-12 at home, and they just did something they haven't done since the second week of the season. That's sweep a back-to-back series at home. I don't think anyone's out here saying, oh, this team's going to do this, this, or that. But don't yuck my yum, 559. That's what I'm going to say. If I'm a Warriors fan, enjoy this win. Enjoy it. Because joy has been hard to find this year when it comes to this team. And speaking of joy, I love the sport of basketball. I love it. I love it. I love football. I love baseball, but I love basketball a lot. There's nothing like playoff basketball. There's nothing like, well, there used to be nothing like regular season basketball, but I feel like that's kind of lost its way as of late. Well, Adam Silver threw out an idea yesterday that I think makes a lot of sense. And I don't hate it. And I think the game could potentially be a lot better for it. We'll discuss that on the other side, plus wrap up this show, hand it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky in the Morning Roast, because they're going to come up on the other side, and I'm sure they are also fired up about this win. Are you fired up about this win? Or are you like the 559 saying it's a one-night stand? Well, you know what? Sometimes one-night stands are fun. More often than not, they probably are. But I know a lot of Warriors fans are in this for the long haul. They've been in a very long and committed relationship with the Golden State Warriors. And they want to see the end of this. Now, sometimes you got to spice up a relationship. Got to add in another partner in there. Right? Is that partner Jimmy Butler? Is that partner Zion Williamson? We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if you like that analogy at all, but you know what? We're making it work. Why not? It's a Thursday. It's a thirsty Thursday. It's a pregame show Thursday with Joe Spadoni on 95.7 The Game.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 30th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects.
Show with Joe Spadoni on 95.7 The Game.
You mentioned before the game you wanted to keep Shea off the line. That didn't work out so well, but overall,
under 30. I was hoping under 30, so we got the job done.
Oh, it's a funny little back and forth. Monty Poole, NBC Sports Bay Area, Steve Kerr last night. Yeah, they kept him under 30 attempts. They wanted to keep Shea off the line. He only had 21. He'll take, hey, you can laugh at it because you won. If had he dropped 50 and you lost, then it's looking embarrassing. But the fact that you won, it's not embarrassing anymore. 52 burger for Shea. He only made 2 threes too, which made that stat line even more incredible. But obviously a lot of those from the line as well. And the Warriors, 116-109 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Much needed victory for them. Can that put some pep in their step? Can they do something? Does that give them the confidence they need to make a trade? Probably not. They've probably been working. If they're going to make a trade, they're going to make a trade. That last night's win is not going to change that one way or the other, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe if you're, Joe Lacob, you're in the building last night. I saw, because Bob Myers called the game for ESPN. He was in the building chopping up with Uncle Joe. Joe's got that, that beard going that I've been on a bender for a couple weeks. Beard going. Not saying he's been doing that, but I've been there. I had that beard going for a little while. I just shaved it, was it, last week? Sometimes you just let it go. It's like, it's winter time. It's cold. My face is chilly. It's been brisk out here. I need some patchiness. All right, some patchwork, if you will. Patches O'Houlihan. I teased it, and I wanted to get into this. And 888-957-9570. More of your thoughts on the game itself. But I was watching last night's game, and I was like, this is just a fun game. We got some juice on it. It's exciting towards the end. We'll see. But I've had this nagging feeling about just basketball in general. And, the game of the year for the Warriors was, I feel like, it was even in a loss, but it was like the most fun I've watched, like a Warriors game. It was Warriors-Lakers on Christmas. And it was Steph, and it was LeBron, it was big shots. Like everyone was watching. It was the only game on. The entire country was glued. It was Warriors-Lakers, the iconic brands play. It was awesome. And I hosted the show the next day with Joe Shasky. And we couldn't even focus on how exciting the game was because first and foremost, the Warriors lost. And the Lakers didn't have Anthony Davis in that game. And Austin Reeves had the game-winning layup over Wiggins and Kuminga. But the overarching theme was the NFL dominated on Christmas again. And their games weren't even good. The NFL just dominated on Christmas again. The ratings are going to show it. They had 3 games on. Everyone was locked in on Netflix. No one gave a rip about the NBA slate, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, that sucks. Because it used to be, I could enjoy basketball on Christmas, only basketball. Lakers, Warriors, Celtics, Spurs were playing, Wemby, all of that. And we couldn't even enjoy that. And it's happened far too often with the NBA and the product and where people are at right now. And it seems like it's becoming more and more regionalized when it comes to people liking the sport. Not to the same level as baseball, not quite to that level, but it feels like we're getting there. Well, maybe Adam Silver has a solution to that. Because, for baseball, people weren't really feeling it. Then they added the pitch clock. Then they added some urgency. Then they added some things, some elements, the ghost runner, right? So these games aren't lasting forever because time is money. Always has been, always will be. And it's the same for consumers. What's worth my time watching? I know football's worth my time because I have a whole bunch of other bleep riding on it. I got my gambling aspect, and there's that to the basketball to an extent, but not to the level of football. And we'll see first and foremost in the Super Bowl, all the action that's going to go taking place just on that game alone. It's going to be the most action on one game all year long. All the different prop bets, yada, yada, yada. I think I saw it was plus 160 that there's going to be no tears in the national anthem from any players or coaches. All right, we'll see. Doubt it. But I got a lot riding on the NFL outside of just the game itself. I got fantasy football. Again, I got gambling. I got, pick'ems. I got everything riding on there. I don't have a lot riding on basketball right now. I don't have a lot of urgency. And these games are taking a while. And the product itself is not aesthetically pleasing at times when I'm on television. So how could I speed that up a little bit more? It's already a fast-paced game, but can we make it faster? Well, I don't think we're going to take away any of those games, but can we shrink the quarters? Potentially. Adam Silver discusses.
I'm probably in a minority. As we get more involved in global basketball, the NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. And I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters. I'm not sure that many others are. I mean, putting aside what it means for records and things like that, I think that a 2-hour format for a game is more consistent with sort of modern television habits. I don't think people in arenas aren't asking us to shorten the game, but I think as a television program, being 2 hours, that's Olympic basketball is 2 hours. College basketball, of course, is.
Yeah, but if you like it, I'd say it has kind of a little bit of a push there.
Yeah, it's such a dramatic change to the game. I mean, I think something like that would have to be talked more about.
Adam Silver just doesn't. Dan Patrick was great right there, and he was on Dan Patrick's show. Your voice holds a little more weight, though, Adam. It's one thing if Dan says it. Yeah, maybe maybe I'm hearing from some people that they want. It's Dan Patrick. But Adam Silver saying, you know what? Maybe 10-minute quarters. Yeah, I would venture to guess that that's a thing that's a real possibility in the coming years. 10-minute quarters instead of 12. That cuts 8 minutes out right there. And as we know, a minute in the NBA can feel like 20 minutes sometimes, just with foul calls, yada, yada, yada. So you're shaving off a bunch of time there. They want it to be 2 hours. And I love it. I do. I think it's great. It solves a problem, I think, that you're not going to get rid of with just slashing games. Oh, the regular season's too long. No, I don't think that's it. And you want all those games if you're all the owners and you're, Adam Silver, the commissioner. You want all those games because that's more money in your pocket. And what do? Do you, in between, do you make the commercials a little bit longer? You add some spots in there? Maybe that's what you do in between the timeouts, et cetera, et cetera. During halftime, is halftime a little bit longer? Maybe you could circumvent it that way. But at least they are trying to do something different. That's what I give credit. And I don't like giving this guy credit at all. And in fact, I hate his guts. I don't like him. I think he's filth. And I cannot stand this man. But the pitch clock worked for Rob Manfred. It worked. I like it. I like the Ghost Runner. Hell, I might be the minority with here, and he floated it out there too. The golden at bat rule. I think it's kind of cool. It's different, and this isn't really going to affect the game in those sort of ways. Like the pitch clock sped up a pitcher. Like that affects the game. Cutting the quarters to 10 minutes long is not going to affect the like of a Stephen Curry. Although maybe Steph's minutes, maybe LeBron's minutes, maybe their schedules, the old guys, maybe they get adjusted a little bit more now. Maybe Steph plays a little bit longer now. Maybe a little bit wear and tear is a little bit less on these guys, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not Dr. Narav Pandya, but I'd venture to guess saving 8 minutes, whatever that means, equating that to, got to do the calculator on what that means in actual game time. Like, that's got to help tremendously on the bilateral knee tendonitis that is plaguing Stephen Curry, the plantar fasciitis that has plagued LeBron, guys like that, right? It's got to help. Can't hurt. You couldn't hooey. All right, so I'm in. Real quick, Anthony Slater on would Stephen Curry want to play with Jimmy Butler? That's still the big name that's out there. Will a deal get done? Anthony Slater's more tapped in than any other person I know when it comes to this team. He joined Bonte and Chaska yesterday on the River Islands guest line. So what Slate's had to say about Steph potentially wanting to play with Jimmy Butler.
Do you want to play with the best version of Jimmy Butler? Do you want to play with a version of Jimmy Butler that was like dominant in whatever playoffs that was, where he just like dragged them past the Celtics? Like that younger, very locked in version of Jimmy Butler is like an appealing idea. This is also a Jimmy Butler who's older, who's had a few injury issues over the last few years and has basically blown up another situation with the franchise, who comes in with not only a huge price tag, but a desire for an extension, and just forget, the highest level deal that Miami can no longer ask for, right? We know they can't sit there and go, Kuminga and Podziemski, throw them in, throw some picks. We know that, whoever they're talking to around the league, they cannot ask for that great of a package. But regardless, you have to salary match, and even your worst package has got to send either a Wiggins or Draymond out the door. It's got to send other salary fillers. So you're puncturing your rotation while you're bringing him in too. So it's a risky move in a lot of ways. To your question, would Steph want to play with him? I mean, I think Steph's open to any type of conversation right now as he tries to figure out what's the best way to move forward at 23 and 23 while he's I think a month or a little more than a month from turning 37.
Slade sounds skeptical right there. So we shall see in the coming week where Jimmy goes, because the Warriors are one of the destinations that he has signed off on a potential trade. But we're up against it. We got to go. Real quick, happy birthday, 74 years old, the great Phil Collins. It's not a Phil Collins Thursday. Tomorrow's a Phil Collins Friday. But happy birthday, Phil Collins, 74 years old. Morning roast next. Have a good morning, everybody.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
When selecting a financial institution, how do you know you're making the right choice? As Bay Area Bank customers find themselves at a crossroads,